Right, so Dana White has blocked a potential boxing match between Oscar De La Hoya and Georges St-Pierre. My name is Rahul Jaychan. This is the Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. So this is a subject that I wanted to talk about a couple of days ago, but I didn't really get around to it. I didn't have time. But today I got time. And I thought I'd quickly share my thoughts on this topic because I've seen it doing the rounds. Actually, I've seen people tweeting about it. I've seen people talking about it on the Morning Combat today. My guys BC and Luke Thomas were discussing it, and I just wanted to share my opinion about the matter. So there's a couple of things for me with this decision by the UFC to block GSP, and the overriding feeling, in my opinion, is pettiness. It just feels very, very petty against GSP, because if we cast our minds back, GSP made the step up to middleweight. He beat Bisping for the middleweight title, and then he promptly gave that title back, and I don't think the UFC and Dana White were very impressed with his decision to give the title back. Obviously, Dana White and Oscar De La Hoya are not on very good terms. It feels like it all started around the promotion for Mayweather McGregor, where De La Hoya basically came out and said that this is a freak show, this is a disrespect to boxing, blah, 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 and then promptly invited Conor McGregor to fight him instead. Look, man, Oscar De La Hoya clearly isn't the most intelligent man in the world, right? I just don't know how he's managed to keep this Golden Boy Promotions afloat with him at the helm. Obviously, there's always been someone that's far more intelligent and business minded by his side throughout the kind of life of that organization. But Oscar De La Hoya just seems like a liability, and his response to this news coming out, it didn't surprise me, where he basically tweeted out, I believe, inviting Dana White, calling Dana White a bitch, and inviting him to fight Oscar De La Hoya. Like that's going to happen. He's almost a parody of himself at this point, Oscar De La Hoya, and he's almost he's cringeworthy TV, to be honest, isn't he? Right, I made a video yesterday about Diego Sanchez and him and his mental kind of where he is at mentally, and Oscar De La Hoya is another one of them. Like, he's obviously got issues that he needs to deal with, and he needs to deal with them pronto. It just feels like Oscar De La Hoya is in this position of power within the sport of boxing, where he has yes men around him and people aren't willing to have frank conversations with him face to face. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So it's pettiness on the part of the UFC because of how I said how GSP left things with the UFC. It's pettiness because obviously Dana White doesn't have a very good relationship with Oscar De La Hoya. And that whole thing, Triller, the way the boxing events have been going on over there, it's just something that Dana White has spoken very, very, very lowly of. I did see a little snippet on YouTube, like I saw a headline of a video, and I didn't click on it because I didn't think it was true. But it was Dana White, and it was a picture of Dana White, and apparently he said that he's interested in a fight at 165 pounds between between GSP and Khabib. Now, if that's the reason why Dana White has blocked this opportunity for GSP to box Oscar De La Hoya, where he'd probably earn a shitload of money, and it would probably just be something fun for GSP to do, fine, I understand, I appreciate it. But at this point, is GSP willing to fight? Because from his most recent appearances on Joe Rogan and interviews that I've seen him do recently, I think even with Ariel, he was kind of a bit like, nah, I'm old. I appreciate what these guys, how good these guys are. I'm too old, so it's not something that I'd be looking to do now at this stage of my life. Is it something that GSP is interested in? No. So it just makes you feel like GSP is a victim of his own success in this instance, because the UFC didn't mind Ben Askren, who's fought a lot more recently than GSP. They didn't mind Ben Askren going across and boxing and earning a good paycheck, but GSP got blocked. And I feel like that's because they know that GSP is still a massive draw when it comes to mixed martial arts. And GSP is still a big name when it comes to mixed martial arts, even though he hasn't fought for a number of years. And they don't want other people to benefit off the kind of the brand that he's built within their organization. But at the end of the day, you have to at some point hold your hands up and say, you know what, you earn a lot of money with us, but we earn a lot of money because of you. Because there's pay-per-view after pay-per-view GSP headlined, and there was an era in the sport where the top draw in the sport was GSP. There was an era where he was the guy. Like, honestly, like, he was the guy in the sport, man, because Anderson Silva was this kind of savant kind of guy who was amazing, technically gifted, brilliant fighter, difficult to work out. But, he'd have these weird kind of performances here and there, and it'd be a bit like, come on, man, you're better than that. You're fighting within yourself. But GSP, he was exciting, and he was just, he had a personality, he had a character, and he built on that foundation. And ever since he became champion, he's always been in the upper echelon of, these are the top kind of commercial stars within the sport. And I feel like he's a victim of just how good he was and how much success he had and how commercially viable he was, which is a shame. It should really be the other way around. It should be the UFC saying, you know what, fair play to you, mate. You've done a good job for us. Well done. If you want to go and box, go and do it. Don't hold a guy back. Like, he's 40 years old, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're actually going to offer him a fight that he's interested in taking. And, the other problem with this, right? The UFC getting angry about GSP coming back and fighting at 185 pounds and then not defending the title. That doesn't even make sense to me. You should celebrate the fact that this guy did it. Like, he came here and he did it. Like, celebrate that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It just, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, they should have just let him go and do what he needed to do. Who knows if he's going to come back to the UFC and fight. I mean, I feel stupid saying that sentence. Who knows if he's going to come back to the UFC and fight Khabib, because I can't see that happening in a million years. What else are you offering the guy? Like, what else are you going to give? Like, what is he going to do with the UFC? Just let him have that one-off boxing match. Let him do it. But that's the UFC, innit? The game is the game. The game is the game. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Don't be scared to hit the like button and share this video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys next time.